In this breaking story, a House representative delivered a rebuttal on Trump's cabinet picks that is both scathing and funny if it weren't sad, and he saved his best shots for Pete Hegseth, the president-elect's pick for Secretary of Defense, and I have all the epic slings and arrows coming up next. Donald Trump's extremism has been on full display with his cabinet picks, and it's a good thing that one of them, Hegseth, served in the military and understands what taking fire feels like. But I don't know if he was prepared for the bombs that are being dropped on him. The one that seems to be trending the most as of late has to do with his alleged drinking on the job. Let's take a look at that allegation and his odd defense of himself that just happened via Megyn Kelly, and then I'll show you the entertaining and scorching rant that just happened on the House floor.
According to a number of people, former and current officials or colleagues at Fox News, that there were times where he would show up very early in the morning. He would at times even smell of alcohol from the night before. Times he would talk about being hungover, barely sleeping or not sleeping at all from being out late the night before. There were cases where they would have to very quickly sort of rush him into the studio and get him ready, quickly put makeup on him and get ready to put him on the air to be ready to go on his show. We spoke with nearly a dozen people who were all familiar with this sort of concern.
Do you need to address the questions about your character that have been raised?
Drinking now, or what's this?
Thank you for asking that. So my plan going forward, ongoing, is when I deployed, we had something called General Order Number 1. And in General Order Number 1, it is you are not allowed to drink while you're on deployment, right? So if you're in Iraq and Afghanistan in a combat zone, you're not allowed to drink. That's how I view this role as Secretary of Defense, is that I'm not going to have a drink at all. And it's not hard for me because it's not a problem for me. But I need to make sure the senators and the troops and President Trump and everybody else knows when you call me 24/7, you're getting fully dialed in, Pete, just like you always did in Iraq and Afghanistan. So this is the biggest deployment of my life, and there won't be a drop of alcohol on my lips while I'm doing it.
So that was interesting. Did you catch that she asked if he stopped drinking, and his answer pivoted to, my plan going forward? Now let's look at the video of Representative Jim McGovern of Massachusetts indicting Hegseth even more than he can indict himself, and he rained some bombs on the rest of the Trump cabinet clown car.
It looks like the requirements to be in the Trump White House are that you either abuse women or you're an out-of-touch billionaire. What's next? Are they going to replace FBI background checks with a Fox News screen test? I mean, forget about a White House cabinet. Donald Trump is making it into a junk drawer. His Commerce Secretary, a billionaire. Big surprise. I don't think this guy is capable of understanding what average people in my district deal with. His Education Secretary, yet another billionaire. What's her qualification? She ran WWE. I guess some schools have wrestling programs. It would be funny if it weren't so sad. His new Attorney General pick, an election denier. The person he tapped to lead Health and Human Services, he thinks tap water turns kids gay. His Defense Secretary, this guy is probably dropping out momentarily. Apparently, he drinks on the job and paid to cover up his sexual assault allegations. Even his mom doesn't like him. These people don't shop at grocery stores. Do you think that they pump their own gas or cook their own food? Of course not. These are people who hop on helicopters to avoid traffic, poster children for the out-of-touch elites, and the Republicans are bending over backwards for them. It's unbelievable. And it's not just bad governance, Mr. Speaker. These fights matter because they are fundamentally about who we want working for us. These people are going to make important decisions that are going to impact all of us. Now, do we want people who understand our struggles? People who will fight for regular folks? Or do we want billionaire trust fund weirdos who just prop up the same broken, rigged system that helps themselves and screws over the rest of us? Now I can anticipate what my good friend, the chairman of the Rules Committee, is going to say when he closes. He's going to accuse me of Trump derangement syndrome, which he usually always does. But what's deranged here is what is happening right before our very eyes. These crazy picks that have no interest in what average people in this country care about. I'll say it again. People in this country voted for lower food prices and cheaper rent, not whatever the hell this is.
I have never understood the term Trump derangement syndrome as an insult. Of course, any sane, non-racist, and non-conspiracy-loving person would lose their mind over Donald Trump's lies, narcissism, extremism, and the weirdos he surrounds himself with. It wasn't too long ago that 2 of Bill Clinton's picks for Attorney General were pressured into withdrawing because they had babysitters who were not legal citizens. How low can this bar go with Donald Trump? The answer is, in Trump World 2024, the bar is now so low, it is almost non-existent. Donald Trump doesn't see criminality, he sees people who can do his bidding. He doesn't see corruption, he sees an opportunity to wreck the system and bend it to his will. I think the latest rumors of Ron DeSantis replacing Hegseth as the nominee may signal the end is near for problematic Pete. And on that note, I'll give MSNBC the final word as they remind us of Donald Trump's words and the game he just might be playing.
4 sources close to Trump have floated DeSantis. Let me just show you a little bit of what Trump has said he thinks about Ron DeSantis.
Ron DeSanctimonious has the poll numbers of a wounded bird falling from the sky. Somebody like Ron DeSantis cannot do it because he's owned and controlled by the globalist establishment who always puts America last.
The problem with Ron DeSanctimonious is that he needs a personality transplant, and those are not yet available.
I feel like Trump would like nothing more than to head fake Ron DeSantis. You know, Matt Dowd, humiliating his sycophants is his favorite game. And now that 4 sources are out there saying talks with DeSantis are in their advanced stages, it does feel like this is treated as a shameful and unserious game on the part of Donald Trump.